We are on the air. Pops, what time is it?
It's Chomp time.
It is Chomp time indeed. I am Mike. That is Pops. This is the Chomp Time podcast. This is episode 18, Pops. Episode 18 I have called College Football Best and Worst Traditions. We are going to be going over a few things today. This is a bye week for our Gators.
Yeah.
Next week is Georgia week, so we are going to have some fun today, Pops.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be talking about college football traditions, our favorites and least favorites. We're going to start with our favorite Gator traditions, followed by our favorite and least favorite other school traditions in college football. The second segment, we'll be talking about surprising teams this year in 2024 across the nation. And finally, Pops addresses the nation. This is somewhat of a surprise. He did not tell me, so I'm kind of excited to hear what he has to say. But right off the top, Pops, let me say this. I've been having a blast doing this with you.
This is great.
Great time. If it was just me and you and maybe Mom checking it out, Amy, the sister, everyone, and maybe some friends, that'd be fine. Absolutely great. I aspire for greater. I want more people. I think we're kind of entertaining.
We are entertaining, yes.
And we're humble as well. I think we have a lot of stats in our episodes. I think we have some laughter. We got some good times in there. Check us out. If you like us, subscribe. And also, get your friends involved. I'd like to see us with a bunch more subscribers and a bunch more views. We're going to be updating our equipment shortly. We've talked about investing in that.
Yeah.
Do some tweaking here and there on the show. But we are who we are. And I think we're doing a pretty good job trying to entertain America, and we will continue. So let's start. Again, I am not
going to be able to talk at all in this episode or not?
We're going to give it a shot. We're going to give it a shot. I've been trying to get you to speak for more than half the episode, but I can't. I sit here and wait to talk. And I will continue learning how to listen. I can listen, but you're not hearing me. You're not hearing Jimmy. It was on White Men Can't Jump, I believe. Wesley Snipes says, you're not hearing Jimmy. So I'm going to try and listen and hear you.
Okay.
Number one. Let's go to segment one. College football traditions, best and worst. We're going to go with the Gators first. Give me a couple of your... We'll go back and forth.
All right.
What's one of your favorite Gator traditions?
Yeah, to me, the first one I'll talk about is nobody else does this.
All right.
And it's 2-bits. Nobody else does 2-bits. It's tradition from a long, long time. We now have celebrity Gators from all sports that come in and become Mr. 2-bits. George is passed, I believe.
Yes.
And so the tradition continued, and I love bringing in a legendary Gator to do it. You know, we had Emmitt Smith, the game against Texas A&M when his son was playing on the other side. I just think that 2-bits is a great tradition for us.
Yeah, and it's basically just George would go around the stadium. When I was there in the 90s, he would go around to different sections of the stadium, and he'd have his whistle, blow his whistle, and he'd have his 2-bit sign. And it's a simple cheer. It's just 2 bits, 4 bits,
6 bits, a dollar.
$1
for the Gators. Stand up,
get up and holler. Yeah, so that is probably one of our best traditions that isn't talked about a lot outside of Gator Nation.
Right. What do you got?
So I agree with you there. I'm going to go with, we'll go back and forth here a little bit.
Yeah.
With the Gators, I'm going with just our helmet. The orange helmet. Here, I got a little helmet. You got one in the background there.
Yeah.
It's the orange helmet with the blue Gator script on it.
Yeah.
Iconic. It's just...
Agreed. Love it.
I love it. I know this day and age, all the kids want different helmets, and it's fun to see some new and exciting designs and all that stuff, but me and you are traditionalists in the sense that we just love seeing the orange Gator helmet. All right, what about you?
Well, always a tradition, and everybody has one at the end of the third quarter. Ours is We Are the Boys. Great song. It's been a tradition for a long time. We upped it even more when Tom Petty passed, and we added Won't Back Down. I mean, the crowd goes crazy for those two. And if it's a night game, it's even better because the cell phones are all up in the air. You got 90,000 people singing along. It's just a great, great tradition.
Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. It's a great message. It's a great song. Great crowd participation, like you said.
And
we've been there a couple times.
We are the boys when everybody sways back and forth. Tremendous tradition. Love it. Love it.
I'm going to go with somewhat a recent one. The Gator Walk, which was introduced by Urban Meyer. Back in before Urban Meyer, I think they just bust them to the stadium and went in like the back end of the stadium and just
bust them in. Yeah.
And everyone just walked. So now they all stay, I think, the night before in a hotel, and they're bused to the very front of the stadium where there's a long brick walkway we have a brick in there with our family name on it, and it's called the Gator Walk, and it's a long walk, and the fans all line up. It's a couple hours before the game.
Yeah.
And all the players are dressed nice, coaches are dressed nice. They give everyone 5. There's a big bronze gator, full-size gator statue at the end of it where they all touch the gator as they walk by and go into the stadium.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites. What about you?
Here's another one. When they pan the stadium, during the pregame and during the game, we always see it. The one sign, "Work 'em silly, Gators." I love that. And it's taped on.
It is taped on. That's from decades ago.
Yeah.
Some fan just put it up there.
Yeah.
And I haven't even looked into that, Pops. It wasn't one of mine, but I'm assuming we had a big win that day, and it just became a tradition.
It was great. What do you got?
I'm going to go with just the Gator Chomp.
Yeah.
The Gator Chomp is known throughout the country. I don't at all like when opposing teams do it, as opposed to recently. But usually when opposing teams do it, it's early in the game, and we come back and annihilate them.
Right.
But the Gator Chomp is awesome. The fans get into it with that. Everyone knows what it means, whether you're talking any symbol. Everyone knows what you're talking about. What do you got?
The last one I got is the latest tradition, and it's pretty special. It's the Ring of Honor. To get up in the Ring of Honor, you have to graduate, be a graduate for the University of Florida. So everybody that's up there did graduate at one time. But I think it's a great tradition for just talking about and showing the support for the great players that have played at the University of Florida.
Now, there's been some controversy about that.
Yeah.
Pat Dooley always says that they need to lower the standards to get on the Ring of Honor.
No, sir.
Is Wilbur Marshall up there?
I don't believe he is.
All right.
Listen, that's the problem today. It's like asking for a participation trophy. Listen. You went to the University of Florida. You got a free education. So if you left early, then do what like Emmett Smith or the rest of them did. They went and finally finished. And then we'll put you up there.
Yeah, there are some high standards to get in the Ring of Honor, both playing on the field and off the field.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. So that's one of our favorite Gator traditions. Just the name. The other one I had was just Spurrier dubbing our stadium the Swamp. Is just
that's a great one.
Outstanding.
One. Yeah.
But let's go into. We're going to go back and forth with our favorites from other schools and their traditions. So give me one of yours from.
Well, one of my favorites, and it's a recent one in the last decade or so. It's called the Iowa Wave. And at the end of the first quarter, the players and the fans all stand and they look towards the Children's Hospital where all the kids are and they wave. I think it's a great, great tradition.
Yeah, and the hospital apparently is a very tall building.
Yeah.
And the kids ward is it the whole hospital? Is it a children's hospital?
I believe it is. I'm not positive, but I believe it is. But it's just a great tradition. And the kids are there waving back. It's great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, going back to I love our helmets. There's a helmet I've always loved throughout college football, and it is the Michigan Wolverine helmet. I've always thought that was a very cool looking helmet, probably buoyed a little bit by Top Gun in 1986. Maverick's helmet looks somewhat similar to that with the stripes and the. I love that helmet. If I didn't go to Florida and I had my choice to go somewhere else, I'd probably go to Michigan just for their colors, the maize and blue, and I love that helmet. Back to you.
University of Wisconsin, their tradition at the end of the third quarter is jump around, and that stadium goes crazy.
It does. I looked at it early before we even came on. It was one of mine, so I'll cross it off now. But House of Pain, jump around at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
At Camp Randall, it's quickly becoming a favorite of mine on my bucket list. I want to go and see it.
It's electric.
It has to be. Yeah. It has to be. Okay. I have, the next one is just basically proving that I'm a heterosexual. I love the USC cheerleaders. Ooh. Always have, always will. I'm not talking about South Carolina. I'm sure they've got nice girls.
Ole Miss,
whatever. I'm talking about the Southern Cal cheerleaders.
Yeah.
How gorgeous, beautiful, hot, sexy, whatever you want to call them.
California girls.
Since I started noticing decades ago, they wear like a white. Yeah. They traditionally wear like a little white USC sweater. Yeah. But they're all very shapely, very attractive women.
Yes.
One of my favorite traditions throughout college football. And to you.
I got one more for you. And it's the traditional only game going on at the end of the year. It's Army-Navy. It is great tradition with the servicemen of both in there. And this year, it's going to be phenomenal because they're both undefeated. But it's the pageantry with all of the uniforms in there and all these people being in service. I think it's one of the great traditions of college football.
100% agree. And it's usually a hard-fought game. I think Navy's had the better of the two for the last few years.
Yeah.
But the President of the United States is usually there.
Yeah.
And while we're all on the same team overall in that game, it gets pretty nasty. But yes, I'm fully with you there.
Yeah.
I'll close out with my favorite. It's of a school that I do not like at all. But I have to respect what they have done through the years. And it is the dotting of the I of Ohio State at the horseshoe. And I'm not even sure when they do it. I'm guessing it's before the game.
It's at halftime.
Halftime. Okay. So at halftime, the Ohio State band.
Script Ohio.
The Ohio State University band, which is one of the best in the land. They spell out the word Ohio, and their tradition is the person that dots the I is usually a well-known Ohio State alum, like Jack Nicklaus has dotted the I. I'm sure Ohio State football players have dotted the I's. Chris Carter's.
They've also band members. There have been band members that have been able to dot the I. I just agree with you 1,000%. What a great tradition Script Ohio is with the song going on and they're doing that. And then you wait for who's going to dot the I. Great tradition. Great tradition.
Yeah, that's some of the pageantry and tradition, the name of this episode, that I love about college football.
Can we talk about three traditions that I hate?
So let's go to our least favorite traditions. You start us off.
We just played them recently. That stupid checkerboard. That stupid checkerboard in the end zone from Tennessee. I hate it.
The Tennessee checkerboard, couple that with Rocky Top, couple that with their ugly orange uniforms, all their disgusting fans.
That stupid burnt orange thing, whatever it is, I hate it.
Yeah, no, I don't like anything about Tennessee.
What do you got?
I thought you were going with this one. We played them earlier in the year as well. The Cowbells at Mississippi State.
I got it on mine. I hate the Cowbells.
We've talked about it, what the tradition is. Some dude brought in a cow and they won a big game over Ole Miss that game. So they kept bringing in a cow. Then there was disallowed. So then they brought in the cowbell instead. I don't care what the origination of it was.
Yeah.
It needs to be ended. It's awful. I wouldn't go to school there for that reason alone. All right, going on to you.
So you took one of mine, and the last one that I'll give you is it's another foe. I hate that stupid Indian with his spear on fire and throwing it down. I hate it.
Chief Osceola, I think I'm offended by it. I said it before. Yes. I'm offended by it. I don't think that person's an Indian. I just lost you on.
Hold on. Damn it.
There we go. We're back.
Okay. You can
maybe I'll be able to edit that out. Maybe not.
All right, we'll see.
Yes, maybe the Florida State ghost got involved there.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a real Indian. I'm offended. You're wearing Indian face. I'm not even sure that's a real horse he's on. It's probably not even real fire or a real spear that he uses. And he's spearing his own field. Screw him. Screw them.
Yeah. The only good thing is they fell off the damn horse this year.
They are a clown college, and that encapsulates them being a clown college. Yeah. I will finish out my least favorite tradition with something another school does, and because they do it, and they've been doing it for at least 20 years, not only would I not go to that school if it was the only one that offered me, I'm not sure that I'd go to any school in that conference, whatever conference they're in, because I wouldn't want to play on the field. And it is the blue turf of Boise State, the Smurf turf. No, absolutely not. I don't care if other teams are painting their field green or it's artificial turf. Grass is meant to be green, whether it's fake or real. The blue turf of Boise State bothers me every time I see it. Whenever I see highlights on ESPN, it throws my vision off. Disgusting. I think Washington State now does red turf.
Well, they boycotted. The NCAA has said it's got to be green. So if it was in there before they deemed it, it'll stay. But after that, there's no more of that. And I guess part of it is if they build a new stadium, whatever, it doesn't go with it because they don't want anything but green.
But Boise State has been grandfathered in.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not interested in anything to do with that school.
Bunch of Smurfs.
Because they're blue and orange like us, so I don't like them. I'd like them to be canceled completely.
I agree.
Like Cal State Fullerton. I don't like how Cal State Fullerton is blue and orange, and they have an F on their hat. Get out of here. You go with CSF if at best.
I agree.
We are Florida. We get the F. We're blue and orange. Screw the rest of you.
I agree.
Right. Let's go into the next segment. Surprising college football teams. I have one that I will go with, but I'm going to let you start off.
Well, let me just go through these real quick, and then you can talk about what you're going to do. You're going to talk about Indiana. Indiana is number 7 in the country. They're 7-0. Kind of highlight here is for the first time, Indiana is ranked higher than Alabama, and that's football.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. Okay, then you have Illinois, number 20 at 6-1. You got Vandy, number 21 at 5-2. You got Miami, number 4 at 7-0. You have Iowa State, number 10 at 7-0. You got Army, number 22, 7-0, and Navy at 25, 6-0. Those are the surprise teams of this year.
And I want to add on to Indiana. Obviously, I live in Indiana, and I hear about it every single week. It's just mounting this energy,
Yeah.
and
Game
I mean,
day. Game day.
Kurt Signetti is their head coach.
Right.
He is, I believe, he is 62 years old. He's in his first year for Indiana. His previous stops were IUP, which is Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Elon, which I believe is in North Carolina, James Madison University, which is in the Carolinas somewhere, maybe not, and then IU. So I guess his first head coaching job, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, just take off the P, and he was destined to be at IU, right? His famous quote to date recently was, "I win, Google me." And his overall record as head coach in college football is 126-35. I don't
Pretty
care
damn good.
where he's I don't care where he's been. He has won. And they have started out 7-0 this year in 2024 at IU, the Hoosiers. It's the first time since 1967 they have started off at 7-0. So that's 57 years. They are ranked number 13th in the nation. I can't remember. I don't think they've been ranked that high since I've been born.
They're ranked number 7 in one of the polls.
Okay, I have them 13th, but I'll look that up.
Yeah.
Regardless, they are above Alabama, which I never thought I would see.
Yeah.
Couple other things about them, Pops. They are not just skating by. They're not eking by with little wins. Here's their win point differential in all of their 7 games. 24, they won by 24. They won by 74. Obviously a lesser opponent. They won by 29. They won by 38. They won by 14. They won by 17. And then they just beat the crap out of Nebraska by 49 points. So they haven't won a game by less than 14 points the entire year. Game day is there this week. They play Washington Huskies at home in Bloomington. I don't believe ESPN Game Day has ever been there. Maybe I'm wrong there.
They said they were there once before, and with Coach Corso when he was there.
Wow! So they end off their season with Washington at home.
Yeah.
They play at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Michigan Wolverines come to town.
Home.
They go to Ohio State.
Yeah.
And then they play a atrocious Purdue Boilermaker team at home.
Yeah.
If they win all but one of those, they're going to the playoffs.
Yes, they are.
And I will include, even if they get blown out because if they win all of those except for one, so let's say they lose to Ohio State, they will either be in the Big Ten title game with one loss, or they won't be in the Big Ten title game with one loss, with an incredible resume. If they go to the Big Ten title game, for my money, I think if you're in the championship game of any of the 4, you're probably going to be in, right?
I agree with you 100%. I think the only game that they could possibly lose, in my opinion, is they have to go to Ohio State. It's tough to beat Ohio State in the first place. It's tough to beat them there. But I think they could take Michigan. I don't think they have any problem. Michigan doesn't impress me this year. They lost a lot.
I think to get in the playoffs, we're talking about the Indiana Hoosiers football program. To get in the playoffs, all of it, well, not all, but if they beat Michigan or Ohio State, much less both of them, they beat either one of those, more than likely they're in the college football playoff, which is unbelievable to me. Good for them. It's brought a lot of excitement to my restaurant, to the area, to the state.
It's great.
It is always going to be a basketball school.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see what Kurt Signetti does. Because there are going to be major programs. We might have a job opening, but there are going to be programs all around the country that are going to have job openings for the next couple of years, and they are going to be going to him first.
Do you know he did coach, assistant coach at Alabama.
Yeah,
under Saban, so he's got a lot of experience.
We shall see.
Big time.
The one quote from Dick Vitale that I actually have taken with me for a while. is don't mess with happiness. So whenever there's coaching changes or rumors about people going to different places, like Kalen DeBoer had a great thing going in Washington. They had plenty of resources out there, just like Indiana does, to pay Kurt Signetti.
Yeah.
Maybe DeBoer wasn't happy in Washington, and he wanted the challenge of taking over after the greatest of all time. Money. But will Kurt stay? Kurt's 62. I don't see him doing this for more than 10, 15 years. So it'll be very intriguing to see what happens with him. Will he stay at IU, knowing that that school will always be a basketball school? I equate it reverse-wise to Florida.
For us.
Billy Donovan,
yeah, when you do research, let me know what Indiana's current recruiting number is. I'd be interested to know.
Well, that's the interesting thing. In the last 5 years, the best class they've had was like 3 years ago was at 17.
Yeah.
And after that, according to Rivals, the best in the last 4 or 5 years is 45 or worse.
Yeah.
He's doing this with 2 and 3 star players. He brought over like 15 guys, Kurt Signetti, from JMU, his last stop. He brought over 15 guys. But even those guys coming into college were only 2 and 3 star guys.
I'd be interested to see what he's doing this year as far as what his recruiting system is.
It's not translating to recruiting for 2025 yet.
All right. Well,
I think they're number 50 or something as of right now.
All right.
So we'll see how that closes. A lot of things change. These guys change their minds.
Let me
change their socks. But
let me give you the bad ones this year. The top of the list is FSU. I mean, I mean, please. I mean, you lost to Duke. They're 1-6. The next one is the great USC.
Yeah.
They're in the Big Ten. They're 3-4.
Yeah.
The great USC. Auburn 2-5.
Yeah, not good.
And
UCLA looking for a new coach soon.
And UCLA 2-5. Those are my bad ones.
Yeah. 1-6 FSU, can't say that enough. I didn't think I'd ever see that. And they are trending even down from that. USC is interesting in that their coach, Lincoln Riley, I really think he's done something that's never going to be done again. He has coached 3 Heisman winners that all went number 1 overall in the NFL draft. That has never been done. It'll never be done again.
You know, when you were talking about just now about being happy, that's the problem I think that Lincoln Riley had. He had everything he could possibly want at Oklahoma. He was getting every player he wanted, and the ones like didn't he get Hurts from Alabama when he
did
lost
for a year.
I mean, he was getting guys all over the place. And it's always the grass is greener somewhere else. You know what?
Well, it's confusing because with him specifically, he's an incredible offensive mind and what he's done with his quarterbacks and his offensive team, but he must not be that good of a game coach.
You know, there was another...
Because even with Caleb Williams, I mean, he got to the playoffs a couple times, I think, with Oklahoma, but lost ultimately there. But even with Caleb Williams last year at USC, they faltered. So he must not be.
There's another USC coach that came and decided to leave the SEC and go out to Southern Cal. How'd he do? How'd he do out there?
Who?
Well, he's coaching at Ole Miss right now.
Oh, Kiffin. Well, Kiffin's been all over.
I mean, but he was successful where he was. But then he decided, let's go out to California.
No, but I think he was fired. But he was fired from USC. Though.
I know, but he wasn't successful out there.
Right. He was such a hot commodity, and I think that he thought USC was a much better job than Tennessee. Which, at this point, now historically, USC is a better program, and they have more Heismans, they have more titles than Tennessee does. But yeah, it all depends on happiness, and we'll see what Kurt Signetti does. Maybe he loves Bloomington. Maybe he doesn't like cold weather. Maybe he loves snow. He will be a legend at IU if he stayed for 10 years.
Right. Listen, we're kind of short in time. We're getting there.
Yeah.
Let me just give you
what's your favorite
thing. You know, we talk about, we were DBU other teams are running back you, whatever else. Do you know who was the QB? Tell me the QB team that brought more people into the NFL than any other school.
Well, Miami used to be the
No, sir. Let me just give you a rundown. You ready?
All right.
Drew Brees from 96 to 2000, Hall of Fame.
All right.
Bob Greasy from 64 to 66, Hall of Fame. Len Dawson from 53 to 56, Hall of Fame. Jim Everett from 81 to 85. Mike Phipps from 67 to 69. Kyle Orton from 2001 to 2004. These are all former NFL players. Mike Herman from 67 to 80, played in Indy. Gary Danielson from 1970 to 72, played at Detroit. Scott Campbell from 1980 to 83, he played at Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Jeff George, before he transferred to Illinois from 86 to 89, played at Atlanta. Adrian O'Connell, 2017, played for the Raiders.
Adrian O'Connell, yeah.
Yeah,
these are all Purdue Boilermaker.
Correct. I don't know of a list that doesn't have a better QB rating than this group of quarterbacks that all came out of Purdue.
Bob Greasy, are you sure?
Yes, sir. Bob Greasy, Hall of Famer from 64 to 66. They have 3 Hall of Famers. Drew Brees, I think he got it this year, right? And Bob Greasy, Len Dawson. And then you got Jim Everett, who played for the Chargers. Mike Phipps, Kyle Orton, who played for the Bears. Mike Herman, Gary Danielson, who played for Detroit. It's unbelievable. All these guys were quarterback at Purdue.
So Len Dawson and Jim Everett were Purdue quarterbacks?
That is correct, sir.
And Jeff George started off at Purdue?
That is correct, sir. Last year at Illinois.
Shows you, I know that there's only one really notable person in my lifetime that's went to Purdue, and his name is Leo Perez.
Yeah.
Leo Perez, I went to high school with. He was in my grade. Leo Perez is a somewhat famous Purdue Boilermaker at a big block of a field goal for a big win at some point. I will say one thing in closing about Mr. Leo Perez, the biggest man I ever stood next to in high school. As a senior in high school, that dude was benching more. His max bench, I believe, was like 415. He was benching more than any Chicago Bear player was at that time when he was a senior in high school. I remember that. That stat went around, and I asked him about it. So, yeah, that's what I remember about Purdue. But that's interesting. I didn't know half those guys went to Purdue.
Yeah. There was a guy by the name of Tim Foley who went to school with my brother at Loyola Academy who ended up going to Purdue, and he played on Miami Dolphins on the 2 championship teams, the 1 undefeated team. He was a defensive back. Played quarterback in high school, and then when he went to Purdue, he was the defensive back, and that's what he played in the NFL.
Oh,
I mean, Purdue has a tremendous tradition, and they got nothing right now.
Yeah, I might. They're getting blown out of every game. We might have to do a future episode on DBU and QBU and wide receiver U and all that. That's a great idea. Anyway, we're gonna end it off here. Like I said at the beginning, I'm having a blast. I want more people watching. It's just me and you.
Yeah,
this is great for posterity's sake. We can always look back at this in the coming years and kind of laugh at everything. I do want to update, improve our equipment.
Yeah.
Get some microphones involved, do a little tweaks here or there, get some feedback from everyone out there that does follow us as to what they really like and maybe don't like about the show. But we are looking for subscribers. We're looking to entertain you as much as we can. We're having fun. It's the bye week. We got a huge week coming up against Georgia.
Yeah. Let me just say this. This is a great weekend because, we don't have to worry about the Gators this weekend. We just get to watch football as an entirety of watching all these teams play and not having to worry about when we're playing, who we're playing, whatever. It's great. It's great.
It's stress-free football where you're almost always rooting for the underdog. Listen, Billy Napier and the guys have got hope back installed in us for the time being.
We're on a roll.
A huge challenge coming up next week, which we will get to. But this one, I'm Mike. That is Pops. This is the Chomp Time Podcast. This was episode 18. College football's best and worst traditions. We were kind of all over the place, but hopefully you had fun as we did. And for the love of Gators, come on, Gators!
Get up and go!
Take care, everybody. Yeah, we were all over.